Hello again guys, it's Wayne from Wayne Goodman Photography and Wayne's Got Gas. As you'll know if you've watched my other videos, I've purchased a Sony A7R II which arrived this morning, and basically one of the reasons, which is the reason behind a lot of people purchasing the A7 range, and myself included, was to purchase the camera because it doesn't only work with Sony stuff, Sony lenses, it works with other lenses from other cameras. I mean, there's not too many lenses out there that there isn't an adapter for, even lenses from like 1940. You know, it's a really widely developed system now. It's been 2 or 3 years in the market, and what you tend to find is there's these little adapters which are available on places like Amazon, you know, stuff like that, where, you know, on eBay and various other sites such as that, where you can actually put this onto the body. Sorry, I'll just see if it'll focus. So you fit this to the body, and then basically it allows for the lens of another manufacturer to be fitted. So for example, this one is actually a Leica M Mount, so that side of it there is a Sony mount on the black side. Struggling to focus, sorry, there we go. And then if we turn it to the other side, this is actually a mount for the Leica M cameras, so it'll fit sort of Summicrons and Summilluxes and all those lovely amazing lenses that Leica make, which they are genuinely amazing in my opinion. But that's a whole other argument. But in this case, from when I had some Leica equipment, I still have a couple of lenses left over which are actually made by a company called Voigtlander. Voigtlander are a company that still make lenses today. They've been making them for absolutely years, and they're one of sort of the older companies. You know, you've got Carl Zeiss, you've got Leica lenses, you've got Voigtlander. I don't know how many iterations of Voigtlander there's been, if it's still the original company, but all I know is that a lot of their lenses punch way above their weight. They're really good quality glass. They're generally not hugely expensive compared to other manufacturers of similar lenses. And the great thing is, because they're manual focus, well, I think they all are manual focus, they're small. You know, they're not going to stick out massively on your camera. I mean, look at the size of this thing here, and if that was a Voigtlander, I'm sure it'd be about a quarter of the size, because it's got no autofocus motors in it. You know, it just means that there's less real estate needed. So, you know, we have a lens that's that size, and this is actually a 12mm. Now, I can't show you properly, but 17mm tilt shift lens on my Canon is that big. So, you know, this is just tiny in comparison, but of course the tilt shift is bigger anyway because it has to tilt and shift. So it's not the best comparison, but it gives you an idea just how tiny this little lens is. You can take the hood off, so nice and, you know, it's nice and easy to do that, and it's just a great little lens. I've also got, stick that back on there. I've also got the latest version of the 15mm, which is quite a coveted lens. It's really doing quite well out there. Everyone's sort of rating its sharpness, and it's a nice lens. Now this is bigger. It's quite a lot bigger really in terms of width and everything, but it's the same Leica M mount, and therefore it will go on here. So all we do is the usual thing. You find the dot, some lenses it's white, some blue, some red, whatever, and then on here we've got the dot, red dot there, and we just pair those up, and it clicks into place. And this is actually, this adapter here that I'm using is really very good quality, considering it cost me, I think, £11. It's made of brass, and there's literally no movement, no flex whatsoever. That is as solid as you will get, and for that price I'm quite amazed. And this is actually a company called K&F Concept. and that's the adapter. I think is there a model number somewhere? Yeah. So this is the, just wait for it to focus, LM-NEX, and that's Leica M to Sony NEX mount basically. So really straightforward to fit it, just as if you fit in a regular OEM lens. And here's the Sony. So if we take this body cap off here, and now the camera's already mounted, so all I'm going to do is, when I remember how to do it, you've just got to find the locating point. I've not there we go. So that's now in. There is a much easier way of doing it, but on camera it's not exactly easy. So now we have a Sony A7R II with a 15mm lens from Voigtlander, and we'll turn the camera on, and what we need to do is we need to tell the camera that when I find it, we've got the, just one second, the steady shot there. So the steady shot settings, and we need to tell it in manual. I mean, basically the other adapter I've got, which I'll show you soon, that seems to work in automatic mode, but this, I've told the camera that we're using a 15mm lens, and now the steady shot will work because it's in body. So if you're shaking about, or if it's windy, or if it's cold, or if it's very dark or whatever, and the steady shot is going to work for you, then basically it's now going to know that there's a 12mm lens, and away we go. What I'm noticing is that previously on the A7R, you would find that there was some purple fringing on the left hand side, and basically what that means is that the lens is that wide that the light just gets misconstrued inside, and for whatever reason, I don't know the full technical reason, but you end up sometimes with a sort of magenta cast to one side, or sometimes even both sides of the image. So if you take a picture of, say, a green field, one side of it will actually be purple or magenta, and obviously that's not ideal. So you can't really do too much other than crop it out, or maybe turn it to black and white and then fiddle about with it. It's a real pain basically. You don't want it to happen. On this camera, it's not happening by the looks of it. It seems absolutely fine. I mean, I can't see any purple fringing whatsoever. You know, it's all a nice clear image. We've got the focus peaking switched on, so with this lens it's manual focus, like I say. So I've got infinity there, but if we go the other way and we're on, I don't know, something ridiculous like we'll do F8, and you will see, hopefully, if I, sorry, it's very difficult to focus, if I move the focusing, can you see? I don't know if you can see, but on the white lens, that's the nearest closest, the nearest object that can be in focus. There's some yellow banding, yellow flashing around it, it's just like flickering. And as I adjust the manual focus, this is not the best the best demonstration of it, but as I adjust the focus, I mean, you can see the monitor behind it has like a red dot, and then the brand next to it, that actually goes less yellow as I focus and more yellow as I do that. So basically you use the focus peaking with this, or also there's magnification settings, and it will basically it will basically allow you to sort of see where you're focused on, and there you go. So that is with the Voigtlander lenses. There's not much more I can show you on those. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to cut the video, and then there's going to be another video which is just purely on the Canon lenses versus this Sony lens. It's the only Sony lens I've got, and I'm going to show you the sort of autofocus ability when it's got the adapter and making Canon lenses work with the camera. Okay, so if you just look for my next video, you'll see that. Thanks, and comment below, and don't forget to thumbs up this video. Thanks.